Good afternoon, everyone. It is 1 o'clock Central, so we will get started. Welcome and thank you for tuning into today's webinar, Build Students' Confidence Through Engaging Trade Skills Tools. My name is Emily Winnestorfer, and I will be your moderator for today's presentation. Presenting today, we have Jamey McIntosh. He is the Education Programs Manager here at Realityworks. Jamey has been with the company for over 10 years and came to Realityworks with an extensive education background as a former educator that taught in Wisconsin and in Colorado. His topics cover student engagement, technology in the classroom, gaming, filling the skills gap, business education, and various agriculture and welding topics. He is a great resource for today's webinar. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass things over to Jamey to get us going.
Hey, thanks a lot, Emily. Welcome to today, and glad that you could be here as we talk about how we can build student confidence. And we're going to kind of talk about confidence and how we can help students become more confident, and then also talk about some of our engaging tools that we use and our products that we have that can help in that world. So as we get started here today, kind of some discussion points that I want to make sure we hit today is we're going to introduce you some learning concepts that build confidence and teach key skills. Then we're going to explore some of our products that we have that can help with that. I have 3 products we're going to be looking at. We did bring them and they are here in the room with me. We have our electrical wiring kit, our common welding joints kit, and then also our measurement math training kit. So going to talk through some of those pieces and how they can help your students to gain that confidence through really the act of doing and doing that hands-on learning. And then we also have some free resources to help with your students and to help you engage your students that we'll talk about at the end as well. Now, there's also a question and answer time at the end. So if you have questions, feel free to pop those in the chat section. So as we go through this, we can make sure we answer any questions you might have. Also for you, if you have questions as we go, so you don't forget them, put them in the chat area, then we'll make sure we answer those at the end. So let's talk about building confidence. This is a big piece of the puzzle, and it's a big piece of the puzzle when you're talking about students in our day and age, where we're at today. So just to kind of talk practical teaching, there's an article that I took this from Forbes magazine, and it talked about 10 ways to build confidence. And it really walked through 10 different ways that we can help our students and help people in general build confidence. And I thought there were some really interesting parts of the story as you look at this that really tie in to what we do in the world of trades and career and technical education. So, some of them that I just wanted to point out were, the very top one there, where it says, get things done. That's what we're going to talk a lot about today, in the idea that when you do things and you see a positive result, that can just build huge amounts of confidence in your students. And so everything that we do at Realityworks has a component of hands-on learning, being able to actually see and then also do. And that is a huge piece of the puzzle that we're going to talk about and go through today, is just being able to get things done and have your students be able to see, look at what we have created. Now that kind of ties in right with the next one on the top there, with monitor your progress, being able for students to see where they began and then monitoring as they grow, getting to that place where they're able to do that. And that kind of leads into, now in this case, do the right thing. Again, sometimes that's outside of our world as educators on the concepts or the exact educational or academic teaching that we're doing, but it's a piece of the puzzle nonetheless, is being able to have your students make sure and help them do the right thing or learn the right things that they need to then gain that confidence as well. And I'm not going to go through every one here, but kind of the last one I'm going to talk about is also on the top row there, is be active. And in this case, it's not only physically active, mentally active, emotionally active, but it's being all there and getting your students to be all there when they're involved in your educational process or learning. And what that really means and what does be active look like? Well, it's engagement, getting your students to engage in what they're doing, being able to understand what they're doing, and then again, going back through all this is really looking at and helping your students to understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. That why question really can help in that world. So just some practical teaching thinking about these and for yourself, there's a lot of other ones that we can walk through and talk through, but want to continue on and just get you start thinking about this idea of ways that you can help your students build confidence. Now, we're going to come back to this as we go through this webinar today. We're going to talk about these different pieces of the puzzle here as we go through this webinar. So things like monitoring your progress and getting things done and being active, or even the idea of do more of what makes you happy, getting students engaged so they enjoy what they're doing. They're not only learning, but they're also enjoying it. That all of a sudden it, can help breed that confidence as well. So want to ask the question and kind of look at what we have learned from the pandemic. So one of the things as we're working through this in a new generation of education and how we have gone through in the past years is really what we found is that as much as we work with Bloom's taxonomy, we found we also need to work with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and really going through and making sure that our students' needs being met. And it's changed the world of how you teach, how we teach, as we help our students. Because it used to be able to just focus a lot on the Bloom's taxonomy, but we found that in the world we're in right now, we really need to help with some of these things that are the needs that they have just in everyday life. Now, the one I'm going to point out here is a little bit higher on the rung there, but if you go to the third one up where you see belonging and the fourth one up, esteem, those are right in that world. When we start talking about confidence, when we start talking about building confidence and getting students to understand learning, understand concepts, to buy into the programs that you have, those are some of those areas there. That belonging, that sense of connection, that sense of understanding what they're supposed to do, that will help confidence. And then that esteem, being able to understand what they're doing and how to do it, will get them to that understanding, that ability to respect themselves, understand what they're supposed to do, self-esteem, some of that helps them there. So I wanted to make sure that we pointed that out before we get into Bloom's taxonomy and how we work with some of that world and our products in that world itself. But I don't want to have us forget in the world we're in, that hierarchy need is a big piece of it. And one of the things that we believe is that through using our products, through being able to work on building that confidence, that will help some of that hierarchy need. It also helps with Bloom's taxonomy, being able to understanding and being able to get to the point of not only remembering, but also then jumping then to understanding, applying, and analyzing, helping students to be able to work through and work up the pyramid here is something that we really work hard with our products to be able to help. A lot of that world where you get to that understanding, applying, and analyzing, that's where we really fit in, because what it does is it makes students start to learn different concepts, being able to apply those different concepts, and then that gets them into that evaluating and also hopefully to that creating, where now that they've learned those things, they can jump up and be able to do that. When we talk electrical wiring kit, and our electrical wiring, if they can be able to understand, apply, analyze if they are doing it correctly or incorrectly, evaluate what they need to be doing and how to do it the best way, that leads them to, hey, I want to do this again. That leads to that creating part. That leads to understanding what they're doing, why they're doing it, and getting to that point. So it's an important piece of the puzzle as we walk through some different areas here. Now, another piece of that puzzle to help you with that is we have free lessons that are available for you to get students to engage, to get students to be thinking about what they want to do and get that confidence of, hey, I have a plan. I know where I'm going. So what we've included are on our website, and we will have these for you as well, to this link for you there, is some free lesson plans. We think it is very important that students start to think about their careers. And so we have free lessons in career exploration in a whole list of different pathways and opportunities within career and technical education. So all you have to do is click on the free lesson plan link. It will then get you to fill out what you're looking for. and then you will get the email of those free lesson plans. Again, a free resource for you to use, and that will help your students as they start to see what they are doing and how it applies to what type of career they could actually get. Not only what type of career, but looking at salaries, looking at different locations that they can move to, and what type of education they need. All those different pieces of the puzzle can help them kind of get that doing going, to get that understanding of, okay, this is what I want to do, or what I might want to do. So I want to talk about the 4 C's to building confidence, and things that we here at Realityworks work to incorporate into our products while we bring these forward and help students. So some of these things that help confidence is communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. So as we talk about that, it's really important, this communication, mastery through participation and practice. Are they able to participate and practice and communicate to you that they have the skills that they need? As they get that ability to not only verbally speak, but show you and communicate through the ability to master those skills, that's the way that they can then start to gain that confidence of, I know what I'm doing, I know how to do it, this is what the best practices are, this is why you do it these ways. That's that big piece that helps them earn and learn that confidence and building confidence. Another piece of it is collaboration. Understanding the systems that they're connected with, so collaborating with other people, collaborating with other opportunities within the activities that they're doing. And it's really that seeing and doing. Not only am I doing it, but maybe there's a better way. Having them have to work with people, have to work with different groups, having to problem solve, which we'll talk a little bit in critical thinking, but working those two through really can help students build confidence. Critical thinking is another big one. All right, get them to start investigating and to reflect and to kind of look at something and say, okay, how is the best way to go about doing this? Some of the things that we include with our products is not only the product and the ability to get your hands on learning, but it also is the curriculum, asking them different types of questions, to think differently, to look into how maybe not just one way, but the best way to build or interact with different learning opportunities and training tools that there are. So this really unlocks a place where they're having to think through and interact. What's the best way to go about learning, and then coming with a solution? And that leads us to creativity. All of this is kind of that world that we talk about is, how do you build confidence? You get students enjoying themselves. You get students having being able to ask the questions of, okay, why am I doing this? And then give them the opportunity of some sort of freedom to be able to go and do it themselves. So creativity is a big piece of that. Not all students want to go do the exact same thing, but you can still get to the end point by having them go and navigate in different areas, as long as they still come out at the end with the learning objectives that you have in place. So having them be able to be creative, learn through, and look at different things, that is very important. Working through some of the products that we have here, and we talk through, there's a lot of ways for students to look at and interact differently, but still gain a lot of understanding and have the creative juices be able to be flowing for what they're doing. So again, that building confidence really comes from bringing collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, and communication into the forefront for your students. Now, what we're going to talk about here is just how we can help do that, how we can bring some of this confidence into students, again, by allowing them to do things, allowing them to monitor their progress, allowing them to be active in their learning and engaged in their learning, being able to look and see, okay, how's the best way, or is there a better way that someone else is doing, and glean information from other people. So we're really kind of looking to that. So with these ideas for you here to be thinking about how can you incorporate some of this to bring confidence into your classroom, what I want to do is start talking about some of our products. So the first product that I want to talk about is our electrical wiring kit. Now I have it here, and our electrical wiring kit comes with a wall panel. And this wall panel here allows the students, it's already pre-made, ready to go. It has a breakout box here. And now I've already wired this up. We already have this wired into place here, but it comes with all the components so your students can wire it themselves, allowing them to be able to do a lot of different, 16 different exercises wiring. Now, why is this important? Because it allows them to get the hands-on, to be able to figure out what they're doing. It allows students to be able to partner up and work together. Now, how does it allow that? With our assessment kit. And in this case, the assessment kit here includes the ability to actually go in and hook up whatever I've wired. And then with our assessment piece, you hook it in here and it will tell you if you did it correct or incorrectly. So we also include curriculum. So it walks through students all about understanding the different theory of electricity, talking about Ohm's law, working with them to understand circuits and how electricity works, talking about personal protective gear, working through how to actually electricity comes to your home, and then how do you actually wire through making sure you're following codes and being able to wire correctly. Now, in this case, what we also bring is just that, is the assessment kit that allows you to hook up to a light socket and be able to know, did I do it correctly or incorrectly? If you do it incorrectly, it then shows you how to do or what the problem was, so you can go back and check again. We have it both in an outlet and a light tester. So allowing students to be able to do this. Now, again, giving them some creativity, allowing them to be able to do it on their own, look and see, did I do it correct? Adding things like competition, allowing students to do it and see who can do it the fastest and also do it correctly. Allowing students to see their mistakes and go back and change and then do it over, so repetition. Allowing students to talk through, okay, do I want to look into, and what would I need to do to wire a residential versus a commercial place, walking through some of that information. All right. We also include exercises. So these are printable exercises, so students can use them, they can bring home, and those exercises walk through a student all the different components, the different diagrams and the keys that are included in, and then it walks them through and asks them to actually do that. Now, you can have multiple, and you can buy multiple wall panels here for your students to be able to use in a classroom. And then the assessment kit here can work with multiple different ones, or you can buy extras of those as well. So in this case here, it helps you to really get through and have your students start doing it. So all the electrical wiring, all the different things you need comes with it. And it starts very slow with one exercise. And then it goes to doing a light switch, or a light switch, and being able to turn on and off. Then it goes into a light switch and a plug-in, and working through that. And it continues to get kind of more complex in the sense of light switches and multiple light switches, multiple power adapters that you need to do, until you kind of walk through, and at the end of it, you've done 16 different exercises with your students, allowing them to be able to go through and understand and work through the different types of exercises that are available out there. So it works through all 12 different exercises, allowing you to figure out and work with your students to be able to make sure that they are not only doing it correctly because of the assessment kit, but also making sure that they are learning without any type of liability. It's all powered by battery. So in this case, they don't plug it into a wall. They can learn all of it without any chance of any type of issue with safety concerns there. Another product we want to talk about is our common welding joints kit. So in this case, our common weld joints kit comes with a few different pieces. We have 10 different joints, and we have a placard or a card that comes with, and it shows what every single joint is. Now, in this case, this helps because this allows you, whoop, I'm going to get to, there we go. Sorry about that. Our common welding joint kit comes with different flashcards So we have different flashcards that come with it, as well as the welding pieces themselves. So I'm going to just pick one here, and I pick our weld here. It is a butt joint. It has one side, which is SMAW, or a stick weld on it. It has another one on the other side, which is a GMAW, which is our MIG weld here. And so on each side, it shows a different weld. Now, why is this important? How can this help build confidence? Well, one of the things that we have with this product is that it is actually something where they're common welding joints that were created by a certified welding educators. And so we actually have a certified welding inspector actually not only weld them, but then certify them as well. And then we made exact replicas. Now, why do we do that? Why is that important? What it does is it helps students be able to look at this and see what a quality weld is. And so as they go and do their welds, they can come back and they can look at this, and then they themselves can be able to look at their weld and figure out, okay, am I getting closer? Gaining confidence of, does it look like someone who has been AWS certified who did this? It gives them that through the doing, being able to see the progress. It's also something where you as a teacher could have them lay down 3 of their welds, from the beginning of the semester, the time period they did, one from the middle, and then one at the end, maybe their final piece that they did, and allow them to see the progression, allow them to see, did they improve? All right. That goes back to that idea of monitoring their progress, being able to say, look at where you were and look at where you've come. That can be a huge confidence builder to see the learning process in place, allowing students to be able to say, wow, I started here and I ended here. I can accomplish great things. I can do this kind of stuff, and allows that confidence building. Being able to have these welds that you, again, they're plastic welds, but they have all of the tactile information for you. That allows students to be able to see what they should be doing, what they should be aspiring to, allowing them to have that sample to say, this is what I want to get to. We also have welding flashcards for them. And as you can see on the PowerPoint here, it has a picture of what the weld is. And then on the back side, it gives different information for helpful hints from both SMAW and GMAW. It also tells or gives the definition, and then also important points to remember, because part of that is allowing them to be able to look at these cards and flashcards to be able to say, hey, here's what I need to know. When I'm doing this type of weld, here are the things that I need to be reminded of. These are the things that I need to do over and over again to be and to have that confidence to do the best that I can do. And so that's where this all comes in, is by adding and being a part of having those common weld joints. So the last one that I want to hit on, put those back, is our measurement math kit. So our measurement math kit is one of our newer products here. And the whole point of the measurement math kit really comes from just what we're talking about, but the opposite. It was a lack of confidence. One of the things that we would talk to educators about was that a lot of my students don't have great math skills. They don't have measurement math skills. And when you think about it, one of the things with that comes from, how often are they doing measurement math? Up until the point that they might be in some of your classes, they may not have had a lot of measurement math training, a lot of fractions or decimal training. And so we are bringing again, another product to help students to learn through doing by gaining knowledge and an understanding of repetition, repeatedly going through and being able to do different types of training. So in the case here that we have, you get 5 of these boxes, and every single box has different different measurable pieces here. Each one of them has different lettering on it, and each measurement piece that is here allows students to be able to do different measurements. So you get 5 sets of these measurement tools. You also get student workbooks, and then we have 2 curriculum options for you. We have a classroom curriculum, and we also have an online curriculum, allowing you to be able to use both, allowing students to be able to hear it in the classroom from the teacher, or also going online and following one lesson after another. So they are learning, as well as it's an enrichment piece or sometimes a review piece for students to have as well. So in our measurement math, we have 7 lessons, and they go from metric and standard reading, then how to read a tape ruler, tape measure, or a ruler, then how to read or use a caliper. Then we dive into decimals and conversions, and then we include measurements, and now they actually have to go and do measurements using a ruler or a tape measure. They have to do measurements using a caliper. It allows you as a teacher to get the students to start being active. And so with that, we have worksheets, we have presentation slides, and we have workbooks where they actually go in and they have to start to do the work. They have to go and start doing different measurements that they have and actually measure the different areas, and every single measurement has answer keys to it. So then they can see what are the answers, what is it that they have. So in the online curriculum, we include videos, knowledge checks, and activities for them to do to make sure if they're starting to do and doing their measurements, they don't understand what they need to be doing, they can go back and do it again. They can try again. They can go back and read about decimals or learn about decimals or fractions, learn about how to read a caliper if they've forgotten or need some help with that. All of this helps them to be able to then say, okay, I now can go back and relearn it, redo it, and continue to understand. In the lessons themselves in the classroom, we go through all 7 lessons, giving you the opportunity to share with your students, PowerPoint slides, interact with them on how it all works. Now, we also have a student workbook. The student workbook is a great opportunity for students to learn, remind themselves how to measure things, how to do conversions, how to do decimals, how to interact with their caliper or their ruler or their tape measure. And then in that, we also allow with over 300 different measurements for them to work on and interact with, both from everything that we talked about, from using your ruler, using your caliper, to all the different measurements that are included with these different pieces here. So as we go there, want to kind of finish with the resources. One of the things that you will get today is a handout of 4 pages of our measurement workbook. Now, the reason is that this is something where these are walking through and helping your students learn how and what measurements are on a ruler, both in standard and metric, the caliper, how a caliper works and how to use the caliper, and then also this metric and standard conversion rates conversions that are out there. So these are some free handouts that we're going to give to you that we will email to you. You can then print them out in color or black and white. Either one works, and allows you then to be able to keep and use as a handout, put on a wall, have them be able to go and use as well. But it comes with the curriculum as well and as part of that. So with that, I want to ask if there are any questions that we have. But the whole purpose of this, again, is hopefully you have maybe gained a little confidence yourself, understood and learned not only what our products are, but had maybe thought about, okay, how do I incorporate some things to get confidence in my students? And again, sometimes it's as easy as getting them to do, monitoring their progress, letting them be active, letting them be able to have that understanding and working through some of those features. So if there are any questions, we'd love to answer those questions this time, but hopefully this has been helpful in getting you to start thinking about how you can build student confidence through some different engaging trade skill tools.
Hey, Jamie, do you want to go over one last time what everybody's going to be receiving following the webinar today?
That'd be great. Yeah. So one of the things is we will give you the link to our career exploration free lesson plans. That is then broken up in different pathways. So you can look at what works for you, or maybe you want more than one. That is there for you, those lesson plans. Usually for most every one of those career exploration lesson plans. It's between 5 to 7 lessons that you can then use ready to go to be able to work with your students on. The other piece that we're going to give you is you'll get this recording, so you can have that, the PowerPoint slides here for your usage. And then we also have those handouts, those measurement handouts for you to be able to use with your class. And all you have to do is print those out, and you can print them out for everyone or for yourself as you see fit.
Perfect. And I'm not seeing any additional questions coming in at this time.
All right. Well, hopefully this has been helpful for you. If you do have other questions, feel free. You can always reach out to us, and we'd be happy to help you or answer any questions that you might have.